everyone, this is Bonnie from Backward Story, and this is the ridiculous amount of stuff that I got this year at the Book Expo of America. So you guys, the amount of books I got this year at BEA is a little insane. This is everything I got today on day 2. And then I've got some bags that I haven't even gone through yet. This is everything from day 1. This is from before everything began. Some of the totes. This is everything from Friday, and the first 2 piles, these 26 books, all came from a special panel. It was called Speed Date with a Publicist, and for 2 hours, publicists went around the room. You got to see 9 publicists. Each publicist talked about 6 books, and they had copies of most of their books there that you could take home with you. At the end, you got to walk around all the other tables and take books from the tables where they were leftovers or they didn't want them. And so I wound up with so many books, and it's nice because it's a mix of hardcovers, finished copies, and advanced reader copies. And you find out about so many great books that way. It's mostly adult titles, but I was super excited to read these ones in particular. And there may have been more, but I hadn't heard about them in advance. And there are a few that the publicists who walked around didn't have yet that I will be getting in the mail. So you'll see more about them from me in the future. So we're starting with the books with the publicists that we did get a chance to talk to, and they told us a little bit about the titles and made me excited for books I otherwise might not have picked up. I'm going to start with the prettiest one. It's Melmoth by Sarah Perry, who wrote The Essex Serpent. And the book is pretty. It has this nice, like, rough feel the way the books with French flaps do. And in fact, it has French flaps. Look at this gorgeous, gorgeous book. Look at this. It opens up. Look at this. It's beautiful. And it has deckled edges. This is an arc, you guys. This is a galley, an uncorrected proof. There's so much money in the book, and we had pointed out how gorgeous it was, and the publicist even said that when a book is that gorgeous, it means it's going to be majorly promoted, and it's going to be a huge book by them. So this book is so gorgeous. And from the same publisher, here's another gorgeous one. This is gold foil on this book. It is Family Trust by Kathy Wang. And I don't remember what everything's about. My brain is so melted after the last 2 days that the fact that I can remember my own name is actually really good. This is The Boy at the Keyhole by Stephen Giles. And actually this one I do remember. It is about there are 2 characters in the entire book. It is a 9-year-old boy and the maid that he thinks is murdering his mother. And since he's 9 years old, he's an unreliable narrator. And it reminds me a little bit of Room by Emma Donoghue, which was from a 4-year-old's point of view. And it sounds amazing, and I can't wait to read it and to see what's going on and what's truth and what's not truth. And that one sounded absolutely incredible to me. Helen Cullen, The Lost Letters of William Wolfe. This one is about a postal worker, I think, who finds a letter that was written to the love of their life, and it doesn't get delivered because the writing is smeared or something, and he spends his life dedicated to find out who wrote the letter and sort of falls a little bit in love with the writer in the process. Samuel Johnson's Eternal Return by Martin Riker. This is another one that sounded absolutely incredible. If you like Every Day by David Leviathan, you may really like this one. It starts off with a man whose son is getting kidnapped, and he goes to protect his son, and he is killed in the process. And his soul jumps into the body of the kidnapper who is fleeing, and the kidnapper plows into a tree and dies, and his soul escapes again into an airplane that is crashing, and he dies again. And he doesn't, like, die right away every time. It's not just a book about him dying. Like, sometimes he will be in a body for a very long time, and he is, like, the second soul in the body. The other person still exists and doesn't know that he's there, so he doesn't have much control over the body. But all he wants to do is get home to his son, and he can't because he's not himself anymore. He doesn't have control of his body, and sometimes he's in the body of really unsavory characters that he doesn't want to be a part of, and he can't help but ride along for the ride. Beautiful Bad by Annie Ward. Beautiful home, beautiful family, beautiful bad. Adrift by Brian Murphy. It is a true story. It sounded incredible. It is about a man, I believe he is the only survivor, and he is on a boat with dead people for 9 days, and it just sounded like the most incredible survival story. The next book, what if you have the perfect life, the perfect wife, and the perfect child, and then, in one shattering moment, you discover nothing is as it seems? What if your whole life was based on lies? Does it have an interior cover? Yes, it does. What if your whole life was based on Lies. So the book is Lies by T.M. Logan. I think the design is so clever. It draws you in and it's part of the title at the same time. Next book is Our Kind of Cruelty by Araminta Hall, which was blurred by Gillian Flynn, who wrote Gone Girl, and it is being said to be this year's psychological novel, and this time the unreliable narrator is male instead of female, and they think it's going to make huge waves in the literary industry. The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. This is based on a true story, but it is fictional, and it is about a man who is Jewish, and he is the one who has to put the numbers on people coming into the camps, and it's how he actually winds up meeting his future wife, and it just sounds like a very hard-hitting book and something that's going to be super interesting to read. This is Marilla of Green Gables by Sarah McCoy. And I actually picked this up to give my mom from the booth because she is a huge fan of Anne of Green Gables. So this is a big one coming out. If you were a fan of Anne of Green Gables, you will love Marilla as well. This is Out of Season by Antonia Manzini. And this is Boomer 1 by Daniel Trode, which is super current because if you've seen that situation in the news with the 30-year-old man who is getting sued by his parents because he won't move out of his house, this book is actually a similar situation. So it is going to really resonate and be popular when it comes out. And it comes out in September, so it's not super far from now. And I love the way they are writing, and at the very end to really emphasize things. You have big, bold print. He never imagined what would happen next. Boom, 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 and it's all in red. So I really like the way they are doing this and structuring this and grabbing your attention. Retire or will retire you. So that is what it says in the background. Next we have The Art of Losing by Lizzie Mason, and you may have heard me talk about this a little bit in the Thursday video because I grabbed a galley of it then. The reason I grabbed it again is because Lizzie was not at BEA on Thursday, and I really wanted to stop by the Bloomsbury booth and have her sign it. I work with her frequently for promoting different books. This is her new book. It is about a 16-year-old who goes through rehab and a lot of other things that deal with loss and memory, and there is this bottle and it has a drop of water pouring out into the eye, and it's just super clever. And so I really wanted to get a copy and get it signed, so I wound up giving my other copy to one of my friends who wasn't able to get it because she loves Lizzie as well. Sourdough by Robin Sloan. This one I read late December, early January, and I reviewed it for Broadway World. It was fantastic, like nothing else that I have really read before in some ways. It is magical realism. It is hard to talk about without spoilers. This cover glows in the dark, literally, which is super cool. It's by the author of Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore. Got a little logo here. And I really enjoyed the book a lot more than I thought I was going to. Plus the book made me hungry and I wanted to eat all the time. The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Curtin. This is one that they galley dropped first thing in the morning on Thursday, and I was not able to get a copy, and it just sounded really interesting. Kristen Higgins' new book, good luck with that. Bellwether by Susanna Kearsley. I own almost all of her books, and this is her latest one. Daughter of a Queen by Sarah Bird, and the title alone made me want to pick it up. It has been blurred by Kristen Hanna, who wrote The Nightingale and Firefly Lane. Under My Skin by Lisa Unger. And we are down to the final 5. Find Me Gone by Sarah Mohlman. The Clockmaker's Daughter by Kate Morden, which has a beautiful cover. You've got some gold foil on it as well. Gone So Long by Andre Dubois III, who wrote the very popular House of Sand and Fog. One Day in December by Josie Silver, which just has the cutest cover. And it is about love at first sight and a woman who lays eyes on a man and then her bus drives away and she never sees him again. And I just love the super scripty font, and it's just the cutest cover. And last but not least, another book with an adorable cover, 7 Days of Us by Francesca Hornick. And that is everything I got from the speed date with a Publicist Panel for now. I will be getting some stuff in the mail at a later date and time, but you will see those in my monthly wrap-ups, and you'll see them on Instagram if you follow me there as well. I'll post them as they arrive. That is everything from me today. I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye!